It's a Bari-Fabulous Thanksgiving. Turkey, stuffing, pie, green bean casserole, and that long-awaited mac and cheese. We've made everything else Bari-Fabulous and berry friendly. But how do you make mac and cheese berry friendly? With cauliflower, of course. Stay tuned for berry friendly cauliflower mac and cheese on a Bari-Fabulous life. So, in our in our pan, we're going to go ahead and add our half and half. And our milk. Get that stirred together and start to get it warmed. We're going to temper this because we're going to be adding, that was a half a cup of milk and a half a cup of half and half. Get it tempered. Once we get that tempered, we're going to add another 3/4 cup of milk. And when that gets good and warm and it starts to bubble a little, we'll add the cheese. And we're back. We've got that good and tempered. Now we're going to add the remainder of our milk, which is a fat-free milk. And we're not making any kind of roux. We're making a cheese sauce. This milk is fat-free and lactose-free. So it goes right along with the half and half. If you saw from the video demo I did on the green bean casserole, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of the silk half and half. No sugar, low fat, low carbs. Just great product all the way around. That half and half will add a creamy element. And we're going to wait and see if we've got any bubbles going. The significance of the bubbles means that you've gotten it to the temperature that you can add your cheese. And this is optional. Some add sour cream or cream cheese to their mac and cheese. Keep in mind that because of the fact that this is a cheese sauce without a roux, you may want to add a little bit for the sake of creaminess and just bolstering some flavor. And if I raise that pan, you can see that we've got good steam rolling on it. And a little bit longer. Almost ready for bubbles. The bubbles are important because, again, when you see the bubbles in the milk, it lets you know that it's at a temperature that you can add the cheese sauce and that it will melt properly. Now, if you are slightly impatient and you cannot wait for the appearance of the bubbles, when you do have stir bubbles in it, like you see there on that edge or in the center, when you see it rotating on its own, you know that bubbling and boiling is coming, and you can begin to add your cheese. And we have I right now have a measuring cup of 2¼ cups worth. I'm gonna add a little bit of that and leave 1½ cups and start stirring to help it start melting some. I'm going to add a little more. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and add it all. And then we want to turn our heat down. I put it on a nice low heat. To incorporate our cheese. If you find that your sauce is a bit thin, you can always add more cheese. I like a thicker sauce, so I'm going to be adding more cheese, and you stir until it's consistent and smooth and there's no cheese lumps anywhere. As you see, I'm checking the edges and I'm still finding some unmelted cheese. So I'm going to take the time to go ahead and get my sauce nice and smooth. And when we come back, the fun part. Adding the cauliflower to the cheese mix and then plating it up to bake. See you soon. And we're back. I've pulled my cheese sauce from the stove. While I was still incorporating and stirring, I added the second bag of mac and cheese blend. I had two 8-ounce bags of mac and cheese blend shredded cheese. I used the first bag and I didn't like the consistency of this sauce, so I added the whole second bag. In addition to that, and in addition to the whole cup of fat-free, lactose-free milk that you saw me add, I also ended up adding that optional sour cream. I used 1.5 tablespoons, and it got it to this perfect consistency. Now stay tuned and we'll get to the fun part. Coating and covering the mac and cheese, the cauliflower, to make it the Cauli mac and cheese. Stay tuned. And we are back for the final portion of making our Cauli mac and cheese. Saucing it. So you see, I have our cauliflower already done. I had boiled this cauliflower. I bought the steamable bags, 2 bags. I boiled it and I seasoned it. Then I drained it and I let it set overnight so it got a good texture to it. Now comes the good stuff. Look at how wonderful that looks. Like, my mouth is watering. It even sounds like mac and cheese when you stir that pasta in. It's got that shlock, shlock, shlock sound. And that's the oven being ready. My dad is a baker, and he has biscuits or dinner rolls that he hand makes. And they're ready. The oven is ready to go ahead and warm them. Little too much cheese sauce, but is there ever really such thing as too much cheese sauce? So we have got our cauliflower mac and cheese ready. And all you do when you're on tea day, put your oven at 350, pop it in the oven, covered, for about 20 minutes. The last 5 minutes of the 20, take the cover off so the cheese can broil just a little bit. You can even, if you wanted to, throw a little breadcrumb panko over it. I avoid because it's additional carbs. If you happen to have made almond bread, coconut, cloud bread, and you want to make some fresh breadcrumbs out of that, by all means, sprinkle over, bake, and enjoy. Stay tuned for the next video in today's series on making the green bean casserole.